honors that a man can bestow onto a woman is the title of wife. Not every woman wants to be a wife, but they cannot become wives on their own. Somebody needs to ask, right? Now, on the other side of that, one of the highest honors that women can bestow onto men is the title of father. Not every man wants to be a father, but they cannot become fathers on their own. Now that we understand that both of these things are of very high value, ladies, I'm going to need us to raise our standards because I'm seeing a lot of kids and not a lot of engagement announcements. And that is never something I will advocate for, especially when that saga typically ends with you all coming online to complain to us that the father isn't doing enough, when in reality, he probably didn't want to become a father. And we know that he didn't want you to be his wife. So most of us don't want to hear it. Like, I don't. Y'all gotta stop just trusting these men at their word that he said he was going to be around. If he really wanted to, he would have asked you to marry him. And we all know that, apparently, except for you.
One, I personally am tired of hearing people's feelings about such a complex situation. Yes, she could be right, and she could also be wrong. I think that people think that way about everyone's situation way too much. And it gets annoying because they make these blanketed statements just because they see a woman that's a single mother. Um, they don't know their woman's situation. They just see a mother and kids, and the father's not there. Automatically, she chose wrong. Automatically, she did something wrong. It's always the woman doing something wrong. And I really get exhausted hearing that side of it. We never ever get to hear the other situations that may come about. Maybe that man wanted to get her pregnant, but did not intend to stay, and she didn't know that. Like, I just it's it's kind of disheartening to keep having this particular same conversation with without considering anything else that happens in the world where women are concerned with picking men and getting pregnant by men. I wish I had something better. I really do. But it is extremely exhausting to keep hearing that same narrative over and over and over again. And we don't address what the men are doing or not doing.
I would say that I don't disagree with much of anything of what Bo said. A lot of times we do highlight the fact, what the women did wrong in these situations, and we tend to do it when it's not an appropriate time to. When it's, for example, it's an appropriate time to talk about women making mistakes when we have a conversation about female intuition, because there's way too many single mothers for female intuition to be a thing, for women intuition to be real. There's way too many single moms. There's way too many women struggling for that shit to be awesome. But in what she's talking about now, that makes perfect sense. There are other situations. There are a lot of men who'll go out here and stick their dick in something just because they want to bust a nut, knowing that a baby can happen. And if a man didn't want to have a baby, he would say, "Hey, Bo, when are you ovulating? Do you track that?" Like, he would do more to make sure that he didn't have a child if he didn't want to have one. So I don't, I can't argue with her there. The thing that I do think would also hurt women is that if men started telling their side of the stories more, I don't think women would fare any better. Because typically, like, the gender war didn't start until men started responding. Before that, it was just, man hating feminists talking about niggas ain't shit, all that, niggas ain't ish, all that type of stuff. But when men started giving their piece, it became a war now. And I don't think that a lot of time, if you ask these single moms, or if you went and found these single moms, the father of their children, I don't think that hearing their story would help, because now we have to talk about, like, how he had to deal with you being insufferable, or he had to deal with the fact that, like, you were one of those kids in high school who didn't have friends, so you read a lot of books and then you have big words to use as, like, part of your brand now, and he don't want to have a child with that person, or he doesn't want it. You're not going to want him to tell his side of the story the majority of the time. So I think women benefit from only having one side of the story told.
I think this goes to highlight how people are still not moving with the proper intention. They're not moving with the proper vetting, and they're just simply not moving with the proper discipline. Like, we know we're gonna have sex. That's natural, but I think the way that we move about it is what's producing these results. It's like we keep touching the hot ass stove and nobody is saying stop, or people are telling you to stop, and you're like, well, maybe if I do it this way, or because I'm this, maybe I'll get a different result. It's like you can't keep making the same mistakes and thinking because it's a new generation of people, you working now more, you got all of these other factors that's going to change it. It's not. I think if, again, we were more intentional about the people that we brought into our lives, let alone gave ourselves to and developed these broken families with, that we wouldn't even be having this discussion. And if we did, it would be significantly less. I think that Bo made some great points. There are a bunch of uncontrollable factors why we do the things that we do. But the point is, we're still getting these results. So we have to have the discussions. I don't think every single mother is just some downtrodden woman that made a mistake with the men that she was with. Again, there are plenty of factors why this is happening. But the general consensus is we have broken families and we have to find a way to stop this. So I don't think like blanket statements and pinpointing certain people. It's like, let's be solution based. What can we do? What advice can we give for the new generation of people that we don't want to see this happen? Because we can talk about people, their situations every day, all day. It's subjective. It's like a roundabout. We're going to keep going. So let's get solution based and speak. What can we do to slow this down or stop this? What can we do?
Honestly, I think when it comes to this, I think women control the flow of sex. So, and I think men are like the water to the dam, and the women are like the dam. It's like women, they control access to sex. I'm not saying that like men have no responsibility at all. I'm not saying that at all. But I truly do think if women actually took that responsibility a little bit more serious, then things would look a little bit differently. But I'm not absolving men, because I guess technically men could stop being so naturally obsessed with women. But I just think it's natural. Like we talked about the pursuit thing earlier. All this, 3,000 men gonna pursue you, and you pick the one, you pick the two, whatever I don't know how many bodies y'all got, but you pick them. So yeah.
So this particular video, I think the only thing that it highlights is the fact that something that we keep talking about over and over. It's more toward, marry before you carry type of thing. And even though that is something that I do like support, what's exhausting about the conversation is that there's no, like, I would say, like, accountability on it. It's either men aren't disciplined enough to strap up, or women aren't disciplined enough to not allow them in, type of thing. And the fact of the matter is, to be completely honest, it's kind of everybody. It's kind of both people's fault. So now we as women, we decide who has access to our bodies, and then thus birthing children. But I know on the flip side of that, men also have to be responsible in what they're doing, their lack of self-discipline, and whom they're dipping into. Unfortunately, it ends up being, from what I've seen, it's married women. It's a way for married women to shame single women who have had children outside of wedlock. And that to me is more detrimental, because it's not it doesn't become any more about teaching or educating. It becomes like, I'm better than you because this happened.
I'd just like to say that you're welcome. It's clear there's a lot of triggered men here. The good thing is that I'm not planning on getting through to any of you. My point is making sure that if there's any women here who are not used to hearing somebody outspoken, that they hear it, and they hear what they need to hear, and they hear it unapologetically. I'm the feminist that y'all hate, right? I'm none of the things that you think that feminists are. And that's what I love about these conversations. You guys assume every single thing you want about me. I'm a baby mother. I'm overweight. I'm single and lonely. I don't have anyone. All the things that I laugh every single time because none of it's true. But I'm never going to disprove the allegations because the point really isn't about me. The point is actually to make sure that women are hearing what I'm trying to say. And I say it succinctly and I say it in a way that makes sense to them. So I don't need to make sense to y'all. And so I'm
So are
happy
you?
that y'all are
So wait, are you going down the road of Princella by any chance?
No,
She married
I'm
with a
not.
husband.
I'm a heterosexual woman. I do not want to.
Now she is
go down the road
one.
of
She just
Princella.
lost the love of her.
That's nice. I don't intend to go down the road of her. I don't.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
I
going
don't
down
want
the
to get
road. I'm
off.
just trying to speak to Black
What are
women.
you trying to teach women that you
I'm trying to
shouldn't be trying to
speak
teach
to
men?
Black women. I'm trying to speak to Black women.
What are you trying to teach them? Because your rhetoric, from what I hear, that would be divisive to them becoming closer to us. Tell me what I'm missing. I'm open for correction.
Why is it about you guys? I just said I'm trying to speak to Black women. Why did you bring yourself into it, Kenny?
Because we're not
I
segregated.
said I'm trying to speak to Black women, not Black men. I said I'm
Okay,
trying to speak
so
to
the
Black
reason
women.
I'm saying that is because we have a divide. So I want to be at the door to hear what you say to Black women so I can learn. And if you tell me it's a girl's room only and I can't learn your POV as for why you feel it's so effective that you need to get this message out to Black women, I want to know what you're saying. And I think it's fair for me to want to know what you're trying to convey. And me putting the name Princella up, I want to know what you're doing. Are you trying to poison?
I'm not familiar with her content. I just know that we don't really align on what I've seen from her on that one little Jubilee show. Like I don't know why you're bringing her up. I don't follow
No,
the
I was
lady.
just giving a comparative because I'm not seeing
I
what you're
can't
doing.
speak
That
on
you
her
said,
because
I'm
I
only
don't
here for
know
the
her.
girls. Because
I
when
don't
she
know the
says,
lady.
okay, when she says I'm only here for the girls,
Mhm.
she's really only here for the girls. So when I hear that, that's
Oh,
like, okay, let me ask you a question.
okay.
Let me see where your POV is at. And you just told me, mind your business. I'm just here to speak to the Black women.
Mhm.
And I'm there like, nah, come
Like for
clean.
example, right? Like every single time I've spoken, Willie has directed his responses to the Black men.
Why do you
Willie
worry?
is here to speak to the Black men, right? Willie wants to speak to the Black men.
Nah,
He's trying to give
he's
y'all
here to speak
one
to
second.
everyone.
He's trying to give y'all advice. He has said, "Hey, man, don't do this. Do this. Ignore them. Good for him." He said, "Kenny, don't do this. Don't do that. Like he's directly speaking to the Black men, which is good. Let him speak to the Black men. I will speak to the Black women. I don't understand why we're diving into my side when clearly this entire time Willie has only been speaking to the Black men. So it's kind of a similar thing. I'm not really understanding what the problem is.
Can I
Nah, I'm
clarify
gonna
It's
that
clip
let
time.
you.
It's
I
clip time, y'all.
Sorry about
We got a
that.
clip coming up.
Sorry about
Black
that,
men
Trey.
and women, just not hyenas?
Real quick. Oh, you got it before the clip. I don't think Pretty's a feminist. I just think she's, a mouthy, rambunctious woman. But that's our job as men is to kind of, is to lead, and she's going to get better. The more she comes on here, she's going to get better. And none of us get paid for this, so I appreciate all the fellas on here for taking your natural role anyway. So.